And I'd like to sort of follow up on what Randy asked. The House leadership, as we all know, is in a state of flux in the wake of Representative Cantor's defeat. Whichever of you gets elected will take office in a House landscape considerably different than what it has been. So in general terms, will that be to the advantage of a freshman congressman, or does that play to the advantage of a new congressman, but one who has served in Washington before? And I frame that question in the light of fighting to keep Dobbins open. I forget which one. Barry.
Yeah, I appreciate that question, and we've heard this over and over again, and my worthy opponent doesn't hesitate to let everyone know that he's been to Congress and I haven't, and that's true. I'm not a Washington insider. But let me tell you this. There was an adage in the House of Representatives and in the state Senate that if you want to get anything done, give it to a freshman. When I was in the Air Force, I was in a course that we were discussing aerospace engineering and flight physics. And I remember the professor was talking about the bumblebee, and at the time, aerospace engineers couldn't understand how a bumblebee could fly because his body mass was greater than his wing area. And so he asked everyone in the class, he said, "How can a bumblebee fly?" None of us could answer, and he finally said, "Because no one has told him he can't." The first bill that I passed in the General Assembly, when Governor Perdue was signing it, he looked at me and he said, "Barry, the Republicans have been trying to pass this for 12 years. How were you able to do the impossible?" I said, "Because, Governor, this is the first time I found out that we couldn't do it." You see, freshmen have not been taught that they can't do it. They haven't been corrupted by the system. They're idealistic and they move forward, and I think with that type of fervor is what we need. We need Washington outsiders to go in and change the system, and that's how we can defend Lockheed. I bring the experience and the knowledge, not just of a state legislator, but I know intently from being in the Department of Defense and working in aerospace as well as working in the United States Air Force how important it is, and I will bring that knowledge to the table.
I've been called a lot of things, but I've never been called a Washington insider. I think Bill Clinton would disagree vehemently with that. Newt Gingrich, who I opposed on a number of occasions, would disagree with that as well. I'm not sure. I mean, maybe I misheard what Barry just said. You know, if you face a very serious problem in Washington, one that goes to the heart of our nation's defense, which involves a very complex process, not just within the Congress, in both houses, but within the administration, cutting across many departments of the government, that the adage in Washington is give it to somebody that doesn't have any idea what they're doing and has just gotten here. That's a new one on me. And I hate to tell you all, but that ain't going to work. I mean, working through the BRAC process, working through a process in which this administration hides and camouflages their cuts to personnel, to R&D, to authorizations, to appropriations for authorizations that have already been made, takes a great deal of skill. You have to know by having been there, being there, talking with people, not just who are freshmen, but who have been there, committee chairs. Back when I served in the House previously, Barry, there was a serious move by the Republicans to cut back the C-130J program significantly. And I had to go repeatedly to the chairman of the Appropriations Subcommittee and to the Speaker himself to argue against those cuts, which we were able to get removed. That doesn't happen simply by saying, "Oh, I'm new here and have a new perspective." It comes from knowing where to go, who to go to, and in my case, using, as I will have when I go up there, not 0 years and being a fresh face, I've never been accused of that either, but going up there and having 8 years of seniority where it really matters, and that is to work the issues, Joe, that you're talking about.
So let me finish just with the concept on military.